Very few people have the relationship that you and I have, and I want to continue to proclaim it to the world about what we've got. Show them the guns. Oh, dude, your biceps popping, girl.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100 bands.
Welcome to the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire. Jessie Joy, our favorite hawk,
yeah,
is saying hello.
Almost.
Yeah, fail. Well, whirlwind last couple of days. I had one of my best friends come in, Dan Martell. He came in, and then he decided to say, hey, I got an extra seat on the private jet. You want to go with me? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go. So I went to Vegas. We had an amazing time. No alcohol, no weed, no shenanigans. I ate perfectly on my plan with my coach, and I'm feeling on fire
That's
today.
That's hard. I like
know.
to have a drink or two.
But I've been ruined.
Good.
That's
a good thing.
It is.
Not ruined.
What?
You've been elevated.
Oh,
wow.
Shit. Yes, Jessie Joy. When you drive up to a private airport and you hop out of a car and walk right onto a jet, get in, and you're hanging out with your buddy.
Mm-hmm. No BS at all.
And we're just giggling, and we're eating these protein, egg and lentil protein chip snacks. They're phenomenal. Mm. And we're just talking business and everything for an hour to Vegas, and then you land and you jump right off, and then your driver's there, and then you head right. It was just...
Talk about utilize time.
Dude, buying back your time.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is also a very special week for us because even though Dan's one of my very best friends, he's also one of my business coaches. Mm-hmm. And we've hired a new assistant who's like literally rechanging and restructuring our life.
I'm obsessed with her already.
Obsessed.
Yeah. Someone to just sit and organize our life and schedule.
Did you see the refrigerator?
No.
Everything is in perfect order. All the labels are perfect.
That's it.
All the protein bars in the right spot. And I go, hey, we don't have any more protein bars. She goes, check the top left drawer.
Oh.
There's like a gazillion boxes of the protein bars I love in there. Like, it's just...
I'm in love. I should have married her.
And you know what? Here's the crazy thing. It was not expensive to hire her at all. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm the latest person to the party.
So do I.
And it shifted my entire paradigm of how things work.
Yep.
Speaking of paradigms, I was on a one-on-one call before we jumped on here with one of our clients who recently came into our program. And I had the biggest reframe that I wanted to share with you.
Oh.
That I wanted your honest response and real reaction here on the show. And it's simply this. I said, you know how... And every guy watching this, every guy listening to this is going to be like, we want our wives to be into us and into the act of when we're having sex. We love the moaning and the cooing and the scratching and all the fun, the playfulness, the enthusiasm during the act. Mm-hmm. And I said, we have that exercise.
Gosh.
Yeah. Oh,
he got close, actually.
He's looking at Valentine like a snack.
Wow.
One of the exercises we do an exercise to help the man and the woman clean the slate. Mm-hmm. And like basically clean the canvas to start over again. It's a really cool exercise, but basically what the exercise does is it allows the wife to understand that the man now gets it.
Okay.
The man understands it. And here in most men's situation, here's what's happening. We just want our wives to know, like, dude, we want to have sex because it makes us feel connected, it makes us feel loved, and we don't want it to seem like it's a chore to you. And I go, the same way your wife exactly wants you to listen to her enthusiastically, answer enthusiastically, be present in the moment is the exact same way. But here's the shift, and here's the paradigm shift. And that is, I said, you know how we know our wives probably don't think about sex every day, all day, kind of like we do? Well, it's the same way you don't think about whatever the situation is she does every day, all day, like she does. But when you step into her world, she wants you to really care as if that shit's really important, because it is important. But even below that is what we're communicating to each other. When you show up aggressively and enthusiastically in sex, and I show up aggressively and enthusiastically in conversation, it's not that sex is important, or not that conversation is important.
It's the enthusiasm
It's
about
that
it.
you're important.
Yes.
Because if I go, hey, I really like it when we really get it on and we make out and we kiss and we have a good old, and I feel like that 7th grade thing like we do, it makes me feel loved. And I go, bro, your wife is thinking the same thing as when you're enthusiastic and aggressive, like leaning in and caring about. It doesn't just mean that, oh, you care about what she cares about. It means that you actually care about her. So this is mind shifting.
I feel like we've talked about things like this.
Kinda, but
the way he said it to you.
The way I'm saying it to you.
Okay.
The last link of it is, don't just conversate with your wife because she goes, wow, that was really cool. Thanks for being a good conversation. She doesn't give a fuck that you're a conversationalist. She cares that you care about what she cares about, because it says, I care about you.
100%.
We all want people to care about us. And I go, you're seen. You're heard, you're understood, you're celebrated. That's what that means. When we say I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm celebrated, what I'm saying is you must actually care about me. Because when I call you and go, hey, remember when I get up when Pete would call? Pete Vargas would call, and I would get up, and then you left that one time.
Because he calls late.
I know. He calls late, but that one time when you got up and you left after 3 minutes of me conversation, I realized, oh, shit, I made a mistake, because I used to do this all the time before you left me.
Yeah.
And it's not that you didn't feel like a priority, even though that was the verbiage, is you don't feel like a priority.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately, it's like, well, if I'm not a priority, then you must not actually care about me.
Yeah.
And I go, your wife knows that you're a good conversationalist. You know how she knows this? Because he's a big-time golfer. I said, if you had 3 guys that you were golfing with, and one of the professionals showed up as number 4, and he was going to jump in your cart, you would be jumping into some deep conversations. You would be asking. You would be. You would be so different because you care. It's something you care about.
That goes along with the argument that we were talking about. How I walked in the man cave and you were finishing up your texting, right?
Yeah.
And I said, with tone, I didn't think I had that much tone, but apparently I did. And then I realized now why I said it that way is because I walked in, you're just sitting there. I'm like.
Yeah.
And we had like a minute to do the call that we were going to do. And I was like, aren't you going to
Yeah.
set up or hello, you know,
Yeah.
like I didn't want to miss the call, but the whole backstory was that as I didn't feel like a priority.
Yeah.
So ultimately I don't feel like you care about me.
Yeah.
Because if that was anybody else walking in here, you would have everything set up. You'd be off your phone. You would welcome them with open arms.
Yeah. Hello. What's up? You ready?
It's like you're nicer to strangers than you are the person you love the most.
Yeah.
Because it's easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so ultimately I didn't feel like a priority.
Yeah. And when somebody doesn't feel like a priority, ultimately it means you must not really love me. You must not really care.
It's a sign. We looked for that sign that, well, you don't care about me. Well, then why am I here?
Yeah, exactly.
And it goes downward spiral like
exactly.
that.
But so that's that we've talked a lot about, hey, make them feel like a priority.
Yeah.
But why?
Because you care.
Because and they know you care. Mm-hmm. You know how they say that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care? Have you ever heard that statement?
No, that's good.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. We all want to know if it's really true that we're afraid of dying and we're afraid of being alone.
Most people are afraid of being alone more than dying.
Yeah, because that's a miserable existence.
Yeah.
Well, if the person you're with doesn't really truly care about you, it's why it feels so lonely. And so when I'm making you a priority, but if I'm making you a priority, but it's a chore and you can tell it's a chore for me, your inner like go fuck yourself really pops up. Mm-hmm. Same thing if
I know that feeling.
Yeah, if you were like if other than like I love when you're super gentle and soft in our morning sex. Like I just love that. But
all
if
docile, you say,
all feminine and just hanging out. But if for some reason, if you didn't respond at all every time we had sex, which is like we call it like vaginal masturbation or like starfish sex or just whatever, it's that we're just going with. Do you not? You clearly must not care about me, or oh wow, loving me must be a chore. Who the fuck wants to be somebody's chore.
I know. They want to be
So
celebrated.
it's I think, you know how you and I love to get like to the bluest flame possible. Like, yeah, this is cool, but this is the thing.
This is why, yeah.
I think we've hit on that with this, and that is,
Because you care. You want to care.
and it's they have to know you care. They have to, or else. But they're not going to
It's
respond.
like saying, like, oh, I love you. But it's like, do you feel loved? That's what you
Yeah.
should be asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when
Or
you say I love you, I'm excited.
How can I love you better? Or
Yeah.
which way do you feel loved?
Dude.
It's like just those little reframes and all those things that would just make a relationship sore.
Sore.
Sore. Like
not,
that
not,
hawk.
Not sore like ow, I'm sore, but like sore.
Oh, soar through the sky, yeah.
Soar through like the
Like the
hawks
hawk.
that circle the man cave. The questions you just asked are so simple. We should ask that question every week to each other. Think about that. How can I make you feel more loved this week? What if
And I like that anyways, because instead of like, because we have say our logistics meeting, right? And that's kind of talking about our relationship too. Like, and instead of saying me, like, you ask, what did you do wrong? And I say, you didn't make me feel loved because you didn't cut the strawberries, or you didn't get up, or you were a little lazy, right? Instead of like me being negative about it, you ask. You're smiling.
Oh, because it's such a good segue.
I
to the next
know,
one. Oh my
exactly.
God. You look at
I
you, little
feel it.
segue. Did you feel it? Mm-hmm. You good.
So
Man.
instead of saying, and then you say, well, how would you say that?
Which part?
Now you've thrown me off.
Okay.
I lost
Rather
it.
than like,
Me being negative, but how how can I make you feel loved? I would say, I would love if you invested your time more on helping with the kids.
Yeah.
I would say it more positively than negatively.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're teammates.
Yeah.
We're on the same team, which is what we really wanted to talk about today.
Exactly.
Thank you for that segue.
Yeah. Thank you for that segue, Jesse.
So in relationships, it's easy to get negative, or it's easy to be like, God, he never does this, or like this is happening again. Like, I'm so frustrated, right? It's better to think of you as not you out to get me or being negative. It's better to think of you as a teammate and on my side, and me asking you in a way of, I would love for you to help out with the kids more.
Yeah. Or
go ahead.
Or it would make me feel really loved.
Yeah.
If you proactively cut up the strawberries or did the thing.
Yeah, proactively.
Yeah, if
exactly.
you proactively did that.
Yeah. So Aaron Hovivian, who we love, told me this thing a long time ago. And I have to remind myself, too, because I get frustrated. And I'm like, this again, right? Because the same things kind of pop up.
Yeah.
And he goes, if you're okay with reminding him the rest of your life, say a couple times a year, you're going to have to remind him. And he'll gladly do it. And if that's the only thing, I just got to remember to remind you, then are you okay with that? Can you live with that? And I'm like, well, yeah, like we're human. I think about it. But in the moment when I'm frustrated about something, I'm like, shit, I have to remind him.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
I think what you're hitting on here, which is so powerful, and I think a really big breakthrough for you and I this last week, because we've had a month of, a lot of like just tiffs and just, a little bit of, fuck you, but I love you, but like that kind of attitude, which I think every couple totally understands. It's this, man, we're quick to forget that we're on the same team.
Yeah.
And even if we don't forget that we're on the same team, sometimes we become Formula One teammates where we're in competition with one another. And like, pull your weight, motherfucker. Come on, we're supposed to be a winning team, as opposed to.
That's exactly how it feels, too.
Well, that's how I act sometimes.
I know.
Because my mind, it's.
And me to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rather than go, dude, here's how I think. Let me explain the concept, because I think you did an amazing job. Let me hit it from another angle. And we're quick to say, what we don't like and what you're not doing.
Yeah.
But I think that's the easy way than saying, can you do this?
Yeah.
I would like this. Let me give you an example. Yesterday we're jumping onto the jet, and I go, yo, we can take this picture or not? Something like this.
You did that?
Yeah, to Dan, because we already went in. We already went in.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, and he goes, is that your passive aggressive way of saying you'd like me to come out and get a picture? I go, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was saying.
Oh,
and we're
that's
laughing
shocking.
and we're laughing and giggling,
Shocking that you did that.
Yeah.
Because you tell him, oh, you're going to ask me? Like,
Yeah.
you're so big on that.
Well, nobody's perfect, but that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
that he reframed me, and I was like, "Thank you for doing that. I forgot." And then later in the thing, he said something. I go, "Oh, really?" Tell me about it. He goes, "Fuck, dude!" Like,
Yeah.
So it's really easy to slip into.
It's easy, too, when you're, like, in boss mode, right? Like,
Yeah.
I more work at home, and I have the kids, and I'm like, hey, got this. Like, I'm just trying to plan everything.
Yeah.
And you, too. And
Yeah.
when we get together, we're like, oh, can you like this.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
But this thing, like, okay, let's go back to the example. You walk in. We're about a minute late on getting ready for the show. I was in my DMs answering some questions and basically telling people, hey, if you want your relationship better, like, let's go. Let's get you should have get off the pot.
So you're
You ready
working.
yeah, I'm working. And
I'm working here.
I'm working here. And what you could have just said was, so I would have responded so differently in saying, if you would have said, hey man, it doesn't really make me feel like a priority when you don't have everything set up, because I know if other people set up, I would have instantly go, shit, dude, you're right.
Yeah.
I
Which
hate-
ultimately then I feel like you don't care about
you don't
me.
care. And I go, I hate that I made you feel that way.
Yeah.
As opposed to the,
The tone. Hey, why isn't everything set up?
yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
I think this is I think this is really great for intimate relationships and like partnerships, life partnerships and spouses and stuff. But isn't that just great leadership anywhere and everywhere? Hey, can you do this for
But
me?
it's easier to do it with somebody else than your partner, actually.
But here's what my mind goes. Okay, well, it's so simple.
It is.
What you and I are saying is not like, wow, that's calculus. We're talking about 2 + 2 = 4 shit, right?
Seriously.
But very few people do it. So why?
I don't know. I mean, I was raised with my mother, who is like the queen of doing this.
And
with
she's a great
tone
human being, but
and
this is just-
I feel like she thinks, and maybe I feel this way too, that she thinks she's saying it with a joke. Because sometimes she is funny, and then sometimes she says things too harsh. And I feel like if I, not at the time where I walked in the office and toned you up to death, but sometimes I feel like I'm saying it with a joke. And it's funny, but it sounds really bitchy.
Yeah.
So why am I doing that?
Yeah.
And I've been saying it to my mom too. I'm like, can you ask? Like
Yeah.
messing with her.
Yeah.
And she's like, whatever, just go get it. I'm like, okay, because it's my mom.
Yeah.
I know her. I don't care. It's whatever. But that's why I feel like she does it. And I know I was raised that way totally. So
Here's why I think we don't do it.
I'm like breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
It's hard.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's literally a pattern.
Yeah.
You hear a pattern communication when you grow up, and that's how you hear it.
I even hear Jovi doing it.
Yeah.
So I must be doing it.
Yeah.
I got to switch that.
Yeah. Here's why I don't think we do it. It's way more vulnerable to ask for something that somebody can say no to than to passive aggressively almost manipulate them into doing it.
Yeah.
And
totally.
I don't know that we don't consciously know that we're doing it.
But it's funny because if I asked you for something, or I'm like, hey, I don't feel like a priority, you would gladly and lovingly change it.
I would move heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Like
so
heaven
why
and
don't
earth.
we, people in general, talk like that?
Because I think it makes us feel weak and vulnerable. If I'm going to ask you something,
I'd love to talk nice. I love not getting in tips. Why would I do that?
I know.
You know?
I know. Well, this is the conundrum, but so many people talk this way, act this way.
Yeah.
I think it might be a comfortability thing too, because I don't think we would do this
Totally.
to strangers.
Totally. I think
I
that's
might
what,
tend to do it to a stranger more because
you're a dick?
Well,
but I think that when we're comfortable, like sometimes I get frustrated I'm like, God, I have to talk like I'm on a show all the time. Can I just talk to you real? Like, I feel that way. But if I did talk to you with my heart open, I know you would receive it better.
Yeah, that is
But that's
true.
hard because I come out with all my backstory of, oh, here he goes again. I don't feel like a priority, so.
And you know what's interesting about that? Now that I'm just listening to you talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh, here he goes again.
Yeah.
What if we pause to consider that maybe you're the trigger that's cueing this whole thing, or I'm the trigger that's cue. And when I talk to you that way, then you act this way, and I go, well, there he goes again. It's like, well, no, you lit the match, motherfucker.
Me, I did?
Or me too. But
Yeah.
if you go, oh, here he goes, like, let's say you
That's
come
how
in
I
with-
felt.
Yeah.
When I walked in the office and things weren't set up, I'm like, here he goes again. I'm
not
the priority, but
But-
anybody else is.
But you know what? What I'm noticing is like, these are patterns we're learning to
Sure.
break
Yeah.
ourselves as a couple and as humans. It would shock me if I fell into that pattern anytime soon, based on what we just learned.
And it's easier now that we're in a good space for me to remind you or show you, be like, oh, this is one of those times. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, because
'Cause then
now
you
you're
receive it
you're
better.
handling it with grace, like, because now I feel like you're on my team and you actually want me to
Yeah.
win. The other way, I feel like you're almost like, and this is an attitude that I think couples
Like
get
I
into.
walk in with a sword. Like,
Well,
shh.
Well, now another demerit to you.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And it's
go pull
almost
your
like
card.
trying to prove, see, I'm better.
That's
I'm
why
better
you're
than you.
sensitive to it. I love that we're like literally figuring it out together right now
Yeah.
because you are hyper sensitive
Yeah.
to me mostly telling you to do something,
Yeah.
anything
Um,
basically. So
it's-
that's how
I have
you
a-
feel.
I have when you say sensitive, I like to. Me and Sarge use a term where we go. We have an allergic reaction.
Oh my God.
We have anytime, like, a negative person. I have an allergic reaction to negative people. I do everything in my power to make sure I never have negative people in my life. Hold
So
on.
okay.
Well, just real quick. So, like, when you come and tell me
Yeah.
what to do, my allergic reaction is because, like, I've already my brain is so trained that I don't do what anybody tells me to do. I do what I tell me to
So
do.
that's why I should ask you.
But
instead of
I'm also
telling you.
trained to, like, I want to serve.
Yeah.
So if you go, hey, can you do this for me? Like, it would be an honor.
Yeah.
Hey, can you make sure that the place is set up totally? Because when I come in, if it's not set up, it makes me feel like I'm not that big of a priority.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I'm the talent here. Like,
you
what
are.
the hell?
No shit. You should. They love you on the show more than they love me.
Just kidding.
But here's the thing. It takes you having to have a tremendous amount of awareness to be able to communicate what the fuck's actually going on.
That's what I'm working on right
And
there.
me. All of us. That's why I think this is the answer why most people don't do it. People aren't even aware. They're so aware of other people and they're not
Yes.
people aren't very aware of themselves.
I'm working on that. I had a call a couple days ago, and it was so easy. And this is how the podcast is. We knew what we were going to talk about because it was so good. It was so easy for me to see what they were dealing with, and she was negative, and she'd be like, "And he doesn't do this," and da da da, and I was like, "Why don't you ask him?" I was like, because you're teammates. You're on the same team. And I know he would love to. He loves you so much. And she did. She called me back and you know what she said?
What?
She said she like orgasmed like 3 times in a row. They snuck away from the kids. They did it like 4 times that week. Like, it was really good.
Wow.
It was really connective. And he was like being romantic and did all the things that she just asked. Like a normal person. Just asked for it. But she was very like negative and critical before.
Wow.
There he goes again, or he doesn't do this, he doesn't do shit for me, like the way you think about it, the way you want to
But
talk.
all of us guys think that same way.
Yeah, and then she just asked, and they had a great week.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
You
so it
know-
was easy for me to see it for them, and you were talking about having awareness.
Yeah.
My awareness for me, I mean, I'm working on it, but it's not there all the time. So she was also saying, she was like, I don't know, it's the same routine, same sex, and it's just like whatever. I go, last time I was kind of feeling that, I did recognize, I asked you nicely, I go, I kind of need some romance. And you were like, I'm on it. Let's go get it.
I'm like, I want some of that
Instead
too.
of me being bitchy towards you, I'm like, fuck, it's the same thing with you. Like, God,
Yeah.
after this long,
Yeah.
I just asked for what I needed. What did you do? Got a hotel, rose petals, chocolate covered strawberries. We went out, had drinks. Like, it was great.
We had great sex.
Yeah. So
all
she
of it.
asked for the romance, and he delivered also.
Wow, dude. So
Yeah.
the lesson for the ladies is ask for what you want, because your man.
And be aware of, like, when you feel lacking, what am I lacking?
Okay.
I feel like I'm lacking something, or I feel really bitchy and I kind of like am negative towards the
Yeah.
person who I love.
Yeah.
You have to stop and be like, why am I bitchy? What do I feel like I'm lacking?
Remember,
A date, romance.
because you got to get clear on what the problem is. We
Yeah.
can solve any problem if we know what the actual
Yeah.
problem is.
But now I'm trying to give him the steps to, like, when I feel that I'm bitchy or I'm like negative towards this person, what am I lacking? Then I can ask for it.
Yeah. Well, remember when we were on our hike and we're at the top of the world and we're like, I don't really like social media.
Yeah.
And I'm really honest about, like, if it feels awkward for me just to show how cool our life is, even though we have to show it in a way because it makes us credible. Like, people go, well, shit, they really do have what they're talking about, and I want that, and so it creates a gap in someone's mind. But we didn't want to just get on social media.
You do like social media if you're learning something or you hear something
I
inspiring.
love it. Yes.
So that's the reframe for you right now. Again, you don't hate it. You love it for its learning aspects or free marketing, or
I love the connectivity.
and we reframed it in saying we want to give tips and inspiration.
Let me tell the story, because
Okay.
first of all, you're very right. I do love social media. I've met some of my best friends on social media.
Yeah.
We have amazing clients that we've met through social media. So I
Right.
do love it. It's a media.
Mm-hmm.
But we're at the top of we did the walk.
top of the world.
Top of the world. We did our hike.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to show people, like, this is cool stuff that we do. But I was sitting at the top of the hill and I'm like, I don't want to be like,
Braggy.
check us out.
Yeah.
Like, because, and I told you, and I was really vulnerable with you. I go, I'm not a panderer. I hate pandering. I'm too powerful to pander. I've worked my ass off to not have to fucking pander to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But here I am on social media pandering for what? Likes?
Yeah.
Like, this is it. So,
I know I'm not like a big poster either. I don't really
but
like
it was.
it.
I think selfies are hilarious. Like, honestly, taking a selfie. I haven't posted a selfie. I just think I feel so
We
stupid
should
doing
post
it.
one after this.
Oh my god, I feel so stupid posting because I go, you already know what my face looks like.
Yeah. You want to see me in a different outfit today?
No,
Yeah.
I've never thought. I wonder if they're gonna post another outfit. I've never thought that. So I go, I feel disempowered doing this. I feel weak doing this. And frankly, I feel stupid doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
feel stupid.
someone's dancing bear. And when I say someone, I'm talking, who the fuck are these people? Nobody.
Mm.
So I felt really disempowered. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And so I go, okay, what is it? What is it? And you had such a beautiful reframe.
Thank you.
Where you're, and why don't you just share so first of all, we had to identify the problem.
Yeah.
Which was this. And I want to congratulate you and commend you and even maybe compliment you
Whoa, too far.
for holding space for me in that moment. Because
Yeah.
I could have just said, this is fucking stupid. I
And
hate
not
this.
did it,
I'm not
yeah.
doing this. And yet, I'm like, well, what is it that I dislike about this so much? And we got to the point where I was able to communicate. I feel disempowered.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm pandering for likes and comments, of which I'm not that interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to save men from sexless marriages, and I want them to get laid so then they can finally step up and be the man they need to be, so we can have a community of empowered men, so that anybody comes and tries to fuck with us, all of us can stand up and go, fuck you. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
But if a guy's pussy starved, he doesn't feel like a man. So I just want to save everybody that's in my DMs, everybody that's watching social media, every guy in there. I want them to join our program so they can be empowered.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, me doing this little thing doesn't feel like that.
But it does if you reframe it.
And you reframed it.
And
So I
I
want to set the
said-
context. We
I
got
love
clear on
that.
the problem. Now,
I said, what if we do posts where we're giving, which means giving like date tips, ideas, all those things. Just like giving them inspiration, just tips
Yeah.
for their relationship,
Serve
for their
them.
life, serving, giving. So instead of saying like, oh, this restaurant or whatever. Well, I guess if it's a good one, we're giving date nights. But like, so we did the hike, which is something I like to do. You like to do.
Yeah.
It's something different for a date. So that's a date tip. Or
Yeah.
go to that spot. It was amazing. So if we reframe it as we're going to give a little
Yeah.
tip for them, then why wouldn't we be posting?
But you instantly turned it from the, hey, do you like me? I'm searching for validation, which I think social media, a lot of people are searching for validation.
Yes,
Is
of
why
course.
I almost consume nobody's content. And we have a team that creates a lot of these types of reels and this type of stuff. But you helped me reframe it like, no, dude, I get a chance to serve them, but stay empowered. Like, hey, we found that day hikes are a really cool date for us because it allows us to communicate with each other. It allows us to do something active and
Yeah.
sweaty together. So you reframe it to where I could actually be empowered and not just be like, check out my breakfast.
Yeah.
Don't care about your breakfast.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your breakfast. I don't think. Maybe people
Some
do.
people do if they're trying to diet and they're like, I better eat that. That person eats that or
Yeah.
whatever. So it just depends on what it is.
But you reframed me, girl.
I reframed you. And then I was talking to my best friend, Stacy, and I said, we're trying to post more. And she's like, you seriously have to. She goes, I love watching everything you guys do. I want to see your pretty face. I want to know what you're up to. I want to see your dates. I want to get the tips, all the things. So
Yeah.
she was saying, and it was really encouraging because I care what she thinks because I love her.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just want to give. So the reframe for me was really big too, is because I do want to just give all the information I have to people
Yeah.
if I can.
Yeah.
Also get paid for it.
Yeah, well, people don't pay; they don't pay attention. You know, this is the other thing. The clip that just came out today that we collaborated with Eric Rock. I don't know if you said it. I said most guys. There's two things that men say. Two guys say that my word is the most important thing to me. Okay. Let's do a clip that's actually worthy. Here we go. Two guys. I can't even say that. Okay. Almost every man says these two things, and they're totally full of shit. Number one, my word is my bond. No, it's not, because most men do not actually do what they say they do when they say they're going to do it without fault. So that's a lie. Number two, my family is my most important thing. Yet they've never spent $1 investing on how to become a better husband or dad. So you're full of shit for saying that. Those are two things
That's
that
good.
men are so full of shit on. And so the reason why I'm starting to get extremely aggressive in my DMs with people. And here's my opening line. If you get this in my DMs, it's because I want you to pay attention. And it's this. My opening line to you in the DMs, for you new followers, for you who like, and for you who comment on our stuff, or you slide into my DMs and want to talk. I like that. I'm going to say something very simple. Number one, are you here to get more attention from your wife, or are you here just for the vids? If they're here for the vids because it's entertaining, cool. If they're here for more attention on their wife, you need to join one of our programs. Either the $200 one that we've stripped out to give you the 5 basic principles or the 5 dials, or if you're really serious and your word is your bond and your family is your most important thing, then you need to join our coaching program. I'm not there to make more friends. I'm here to save men from themselves and to save their families. That's it.
I like it.
Anything else, I'm not interested. That's it. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome.
So our social media, the way I look at social media, has 100% changed because of you.
Aww.
And that reframe on the
Teammate.
top. Yeah, teammate.
We're
But
teammates.
you really helped me reframe that because, of course, I want to serve people. We say stuff that nobody's saying, and we say it in a way that nobody's saying, and we say it with a conviction that very few couples can actually say it with because they don't have what we have. Be like a broke person say, hey, you want to become rich? And be like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Very few people have the relationship that you and I have, and I want to continue to proclaim it to the world about what we've got. Show them the guns. Oh, dude, your biceps popping, girl.
Thanks, Marie.
Hey, yeah, we've got a. Thanks, Marie.
Thanks, Marie.
Hey,
Yeah,
we've got our band tees on today.
Oh yeah.
Remember how cute you thought I looked in this outfit?
Yeah, I got you that shirt.
How come you didn't tell the crowd yet about that? I'm just kidding. So anything else you
Motorhead's
want to talk
my
about?
band.
Oh, so we come in with negativity. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And that the real way to do it is to go,
I would love for you to
yeah, this would make me feel really loved if you did this. Romance me.
Took the initiative on the kids, on cleaning, on work, or whatever they got.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for it. People are really afraid to ask for what they want because they feel like they're going to be judged for it. How in the world could you want that?
Yeah.
Or be denied.
Mm-hmm.
And rejection is really hard for people to take. We, as humans, we don't like it. Apparently dogs don't like their beautiful little paws messed with either. So
what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
I think that's the show for today.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, teammate.
All right.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. So here's what you can do after you listen to this podcast. If you're like, hey, I'm a man and I do want to invest in my family and I do want to invest in becoming a better dad, you either go to marriedgame.com, watch a video there, book a call with us, and we'll see if you're a good fit for our coaching program. Or simply DM me, give me the goods, and I'll send you a link where you can buy our less than $200, 5 main principles of Married Game. I went in and shot modules for you and the 5-dial system so you can understand what it is. And you can figure out what these things are. But either way, if you don't invest in yourself, then your family actually isn't the most important thing. And
Boom.
I stand by that. So,
boom.
Also, don't be a nerd. Spread the word. Share this with somebody else that you think would gain a lot of love, a lot of insight, and a lot of value from it. And with that, keep crushing it. That shit's contagious.